Hello, second grade. So today we are going to finish chapter 41 and we're doing our last section called The Coming of the Visigoths. So I'm just going to read to you and then ask you some questions. So make sure to pay attention because that will help you with your worksheet. All right. Stilicho, the half-barbarian, half-Roman general, did his best to protect Rome from the barbarian invaders. He fought the Visigoths for years, but the Romans executed him because they thought he wasn't doing his best for Rome. They shouldn't have. Stilicho was the only general who could keep the Visigoths away from Rome. Only 2 years after Stilicho's execution, the Visigoths finally marched all the way down through Italy to the city of Rome itself. When the emperor and his court heard that the Visigoths were coming, they packed up all their belongings and left the city of Rome. They traveled to a much smaller city that sat in the middle of a swamp. The Visigoths couldn't get through the soft, muddy ground of the swamp with their horses, so the emperor was safe. From now on, this tiny, dirty, damp city would serve as the capital of the Western Roman Empire. The people who stayed in Rome were terrified. For 800 years, the city of Rome had been safe from attack. Its thick walls and world-famous army had protected it from invasion. But now the army was weak and frightened, and the walls were unprotected. The people of Rome sent desperate messages to the Eastern Roman Empire. "The Visigoths are coming," they wrote. "Please come and help us." But the army of the Eastern Roman Empire was afraid to fight the Visigoths. And the Eastern Roman Emperor didn't dare send his army away from Constantinople, all the way to Rome. If he did, other barbarians might attack his city while it was unprotected. So no one came to help Rome. The Visigoths poured over the walls and overwhelmed the soldiers who had remained on duty. The Visigoth commander, Alaric, ordered, "Gather up all the gold you can find. Take Rome's treasures. Now they belong to us." The Visigoths were happy to obey. They ripped down Rome's beautiful golden statues and melted them. They stole coins and jewelry. But the Visigoths didn't kill the unarmed people of Rome. And because many of the Visigoths had converted to Christianity, they didn't destroy Rome's churches. They took everything valuable that they could put their hands on and then marched away. When they heard the news, people all over the old empire mourned. Over in the Eastern Roman Empire, a monk named Jerome wrote, "Terrifying news has come to us from the West. Rome has been taken by assault. Sobs disturb my every word. The city has been conquered which had once ruled the whole world. Rome would never again be a great world power. Some Romans still lived in the city, but 45 years after the Visigoth attack, another barbarian tribe invaded the city again. This tribe, called the Vandals, took everything valuable that the Visigoth had left behind. They were even worse than the Visigoth. They captured the frightened people of Rome and led them off to be slaves and hostages. They burned buildings made from wood and tore bricks and stones out of walls that wouldn't burn. They even peeled the gold decorations off of roofs of Rome's temples. Today, we call someone who destroys things for fun a Vandal, after the Vandals who destroyed what was left of the city of Rome. The Western Roman Empire still survived, but just barely. Its capital city was gone, and its emperor was ruling in the middle of a swamp. Soon the Western Roman Empire would be gone forever. And that's the end to chapter 41. Now I'm going to go over some questions regarding section 3. So section 3 was called The Coming of the Visigoths. So what was the first barbarian tribe to invade the city of Rome? So the first barbarian tribe to invade the city of Rome was the Visigoths. The Visigoths. What was the second tribe to invade Rome? The second tribe were the Vandals. And which tribe was worse? Were the Visigoths worse, or were the Vandals worse? Well, according to section 3, Vandals were worse. They took the Roman people and they made them slaves and hostages, but the Visigoths didn't do that. The Visigoths just took the jewelry and all the goods and treasures of Rome and just went away and walked away, but they did not hurt the Roman people. But the Vandals were worse. Not only did they take Rome's treasures, but they also took the Roman people and made them slaves and hostages and did not treat them very well. Why didn't the Visigoths burn the Church of Rome? Well, the Visigoths didn't burn the Church of Rome because some of them were Christian. Some of the Visigoths converted to Christianity, and that's why they didn't burn the churches of Rome. Where was the emperor when Rome was invaded? So when Rome was invaded, where was the emperor? Well, the emperor had gone away to a city in a swamp. So do you remember how I was talking about a swamp and how the Roman emperor went and that's where he spent his time? He lived in the swamp. Whoops. Why didn't the Eastern Roman emperor send help? Why didn't the Eastern Roman emperor send help? Well, because the Eastern Roman emperor was very afraid of the barbarians invading his own city. He thought that if he took his men or his soldiers and sent them to go and help, then to help the Western Roman Empire, then he was afraid that the barbarians would come and invade his Eastern Roman Empire, and so he chose to keep everyone with him at the Eastern Roman Empire at Constantinople, and because he didn't want to send his men away and then have the barbarians come and invade his city, because then he wouldn't have his men there to protect him. So again, the Visigoths, they invaded Rome and they took all the gold, they took all the treasures, but they did not capture any of the Romans, and they did not burn the churches of Rome because some of the Visigoths actually converted to Christianity. And the Vandals, they came and they destroyed Rome. Not only did they take all the treasures and gold and whatnot, but they also destroyed Rome, and they took the Roman people and made them hostages and slaves. And so the Vandals were worse than the Visigoths. And of course, the Eastern Roman Emperor did not help the Western Roman Empire because he was afraid that the barbarians would come and then attack him and his city. All right, so that is it. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. And your homework for today is to do worksheet 3 for section 3 of chapter 41. I miss you, second grade, so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.